Andrew Tate's final message. He's like some form of Batman supervillain. An hour long to just go, oh, you know, sorry for saying all these horrible things about women. Don't need an hour, maybe like a minute. Hello everyone, I'm Alex and welcome back to another video. It's quite obvious what this video is on already. It's on Andrew Tate. Hey, it was inevitable really, wasn't it? I've put off doing this for so long, but after that response video and just the way the internet's responded, just feel like I have to. I've had an influx of videos of Andrew Tate videos, right? You know, the ones where he's normally like mouthing off about women and how he wants to choke them. Normal stuff. I'd rather be choked by a goth girl, but that's completely unrelated. People have been taking clips of him and then putting like sad music over it, and apparently it's meant to make you feel, I don't know, bad for him. I don't. And I don't think I meant to. And I don't think he'd want that. Because he's an alpha male. And nobody should feel sorry for him. Because he's having a good old time. Andy. That's why he's done an hour and a half response video. Because he's having a fun time. He's been banned off of everything for the videos that he's made. Which isn't really a surprise to me. I know a lot of people have been harping on about free speech. And hey, look, I've said some off-colour things over my tenure as a YouTube star and celebrity. And if they're jokes, they're jokes, and I totally get that. And some of Andrew Tate's stuff is jokes. I'm not going to be one of those people who takes all these Andrew Tate clips and then just goes, oh man, they're all real. Because they're not all real, are they? But the ones that are pretty terrible. And I love a joke as much as the next man. I guess unless the next man's idea of comedy is whatever people who like Andrew Tate find funny, then maybe not. But freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom of consequences, and for people saying he's been like deplatformed, he was on Fox News. He was on the news. But there are rules on these websites. And yeah, some of them suck. Some of these websites are terrible at enforcing them, but I think Andy probably broke a couple. Some of the rules maybe even be called the law in some places. But I'm no expert on that. That's for Andrew Tate and his lawyers to go over, I think. Because I feel like he's got more pressing stuff going on with his Facebook ban. Now, if you want a video on everything that Andrew Tate has done, which is pretty much wrapped up as well as it really can be, Ben Daz Black uploaded one, which was fantastic, and I suggest you check it out. But we're going to be looking at the response video to all of that. Because there's a few things that I wanted to talk about. Let's go.
I was thinking for a long time how to start this video because it needs to be concise and compendious.
Concise? It's an hour long. It's like a film.
I preach to the people who follow me that as a man, trauma and difficulty is extremely important because it's the building blocks for mental fortitude and physical fortitude. So I'm very, very happy that my life has been difficult because it's impossible to become a capable man or a man of my capability without struggling with facing serious adversities, without trying to overcome often insurmountable odds.
And hey, look, that's great. Like, as a man with plenty of trauma, I know what it's like, and it's not easy for anyone, actually. It's not easy for anybody on this planet really at all, unless you're like a prince. And even then, probably still wouldn't envy all of the pegging that's going on there. Or maybe I would. I don't know. But just because you're a man with trauma doesn't mean you have to make it a woman's problem. And that goes for many men. Look, there's nothing wrong with talking about how you feel and being very open about, you know, everything that's gone wrong. And, you know, talking to people, that's very, very helpful. Male suicide rates are fucking very high. And they're very bloody real. And people need to pay more attention to that. Of course they do. But the problem is, Andrew, with some of your rhetoric that you've used, is you make people think that it's other people, mainly women, pretty much all women, who are at fault for the fact that they are suffering because the girl doesn't like them. So they're going to go and be horrible to them now. Because Andy said, hey man, don't bottle that up. There are healthy ways to deal with stuff. And I think what these videos have encouraged aren't the case. I've seen plenty of men who think they can just go and get whatever they want based on stuff like this. And people like Andrew Tate and stuff that he said. People who think they could just go and do stuff. And it's ended up with people trying to fucking bottle me in clubs because they've gone up to my mates and they've tried to touch him inappropriately, and then I've jumped in, I'm a big alpha male, and then they've waved a fucking bottle in my face, because they're annoyed that I'm getting in the way of the fact that my friends don't want anything to do with them. And it's because of stuff like this. It's because of stuff like this and encouraging stuff like this, and it's fucking awful. Why doesn't everybody just help each other? That'd be great. We don't have to blame anyone, really. Blaming a specific group of people, I think that helps anybody. I mean, it just makes everything considerably worse. And also, I've been assaulted by women. I think that would be a common L, as Andrew Tate's fans have put it. Oh, it's a major L on my part. I should have. Maybe not. Definitely not. I've been in clubs. People have laid their hands on me, physically assaulted me. Now, I don't blame everybody for that. It would be very easy to go away and go, well, I hate them all. I hate all of them. Because it does happen way too regularly. But there are bad people. Not everybody is all evil. That's just mental, really. I hate them both equally. No, I don't. I just, understand that people are complex. And making these black and white videos where you say that one thing is this and one thing is that, and these are the people responsible for these problems, is not going to help anybody. I don't care what the hour-long video says. I don't care about your cool backstory. It's not good. You don't have to be a genius to work that one out. That maybe all of this hyperbolic rhetoric, wordsmith, doesn't help anyone.
I was bullied in school to a degree, and my father always taught me to stick up for myself. I was never allowed to run and cry to authority. I was told that if someone wants to mess with you or come at you, you can't always go tell the teacher. Sometimes you have to deal with it. I was actually picked on by these two kids when I was riding the school bus home. I think I was around 5 and they were around 7. They were a bit older than me, and they used to pick on me on the school bus. They'd sit behind me, throw things at me, hit me, etc. And I came home and I told my dad about it. I said, Dad, these 2 kids are picking on me every single time I get the school bus. I don't know what to do. And my dad said, I'm not going to call the teacher because the teacher ain't on the bus. And I'm not going to call the school bus driver because they're busy driving. Son, if you want to deal with this, you're going to have to deal with it yourself.
Sounds like a nice fucking bloke. I mean, that's mental. What do you mean that's what your dad told you? That's awful. No wonder you ended up making these videos. Fuck me. Just because your dad's an arsehole doesn't mean everybody else has to be. What? What are you on about? Weird logic. Weird leap of logic there, man. Because now all you've done is created more bullies. You've created more people who would have slapped your bald head. That's what you've done. I mean, surely you must understand that with the stuff that you say about being a manlier man, that means people who are considerably weaker, or for multiple reasons. It could be because of health, could be because of mental health, could be for so many reasons. People who are weaker are going to get attacked. I've seen people open up, or people get absolutely lampooned by your fans because they've opened up about stuff. I'm sure I'll get comments on this video about, like, or being assaulted, and because I don't go to the fucking gym, and because my hair's gay, or whatever. But your videos have been doing that, and that's undeniable. You can't say they haven't been, because they bloody well have. You're a bloody millionaire. You don't need to do this, do you? I mean, I know it gets you more money because you run that pyramid scheme, but you don't need this. You don't need to do this. And even if you take all that money and donate it to charities, which I know he does, I know that's going to be the main comment, and that is, do you know what? Fantastic. At least it's being given to people who can actually do stuff properly with it. Maybe leave out the causing pain and adversity for people, and playing it off by going, well, I did get the Lambo, but I did chuck a couple million that person's way. I have made life considerably harder for people because of my incredible TikTok clipping audience that just post stuff everywhere and spread my crazy message. But hey, can't make it all without breaking some eggs. You've strangled the fucking chicken, you've snapped its neck. You didn't break an egg, mate. It's gone, it's dead. Positives don't always outweigh the negatives. The thing is, I want to play a clip, because Andrew Tate goes on to talk about his mum, and it's very touching. Like, a lot of this interview, I felt like was very, very from the heart. I'm not going to pretend that he's some a complete charlatan, but he's very fucking clever. He's very smart. The reason he has this chokehold on the internet, you could listen to what he wants. It was intentional. He did that on purpose. He's a very, very, very clever man, and I don't want anybody to take that away from him, because just making him seem like he's stupid is not fair. He's very smart, and that's how he's going to be able to twist and turn narratives and all of that, because he's not an idiot. He's very well calculated, and this is a very well shot, well made response video. And I'm not here to talk about all of the legal stuff, in fact, because I think that actually is weirdly distracting from one of the major points, which is, what are the people who watch Andrew Tate's content becoming? What are they doing with that? What are Andrew Tate fans? What do they look like? And what are they going to go do to other people in their lives? I'm going to play this clip here, and I'm going to say something afterwards, because I think it's incredibly important. So enjoy, or don't.
I'm like 100 and something kilo. Women aren't as big as me. You're like a 55 kilo female. I will pick you up with one hand by your titty, body slam your ass. And when I'm standing on top of you and I'm grabbing you by your neck, and you've learned, I learned in self-defense, when he grabs me by my neck, what I do is I get my fingers in. Yeah, but you know what they didn't teach you in self-defense? Here's a little move. When I grab you by your neck and you start annoying me trying to resist, and I just...
If somebody said that about Andrew Tate's mum, they would be eating for a straw for the rest of their life. You know, he's a professional MMA kickboxer. You think if somebody said the stuff that Andrew Tate says for people to do and for people to say to women, and the way that he talks to women, if somebody talked to his mum the way that he talks to women about, you know, them being all in it for the money and not interested in working and being genuinely weaker people or weaker minded, he would literally destroy them. He'd ruin them. I mean, he'd probably end up in jail. He frankly wouldn't let it run. And I don't even think Andrew Tate fans will let it run. So then why are you doing that to people? Why are you going into the comment sections of women's videos and women that have spoken up and girls that have spoken up? I've seen all of my friends post Instagram grid posts of Andrew Tate and how much I hate him. And the abuse they get is off the fucking charts. It's like mental. I've never really seen anything like it before. It's never been a more toxic place, I think, TikTok. My For You page for the last 2 months, 3 months even, has just been these god-awful videos and podcast clips. And then just the comments are awful. And although he might be joking, maybe you could give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm struggling to. I really am. Oh, the people in Andrew Tate's comment sections. I mean, some of them are teenagers who aren't going to do anything, but some of them are people who will, because of stuff like this, and they will believe that it is owed to them. And I've got a 50-50 male-female audience now. I used to have a considerably more female one back when I had my lovely long hair and all of that, before I shaved it all off and everybody realised I was fuck ugly. But I know that probably a lot of the men who watch me probably also gay. So they actually arguably hate women more than Andrew does. But this is a video really not to those people. The people watching this, I think a lot of the people watching this video know all of this stuff. They don't care. They don't need to be told. They actually experience it. But think about if it's your mum or your sister. You shouldn't have to do that, by the way. You shouldn't have to think about whether it was your mum or your sister. You shouldn't have to think about the stuff that you comment and go, oh, if only it was my mum or my sister. But maybe do that.
I have no problem with people disagreeing with me. I have no problem with being seen as controversial for some of the things I've said. However, I do have 2 significant problems I would like to address. The first is I do not like absolute and utter lies being told about me. I do not like having long-form video of me cut up, elements taken out of context, the tonality of the joke removed, and purporting an image of me that is not true.
That's what your fans do. That's what they do, and you encourage it. It's part of the program. He literally encourages people to clip up his content. And yeah, just because they post it with a more positive spin doesn't mean that when I watch it, I have to go, oh, that's great, because they put happy music behind it. You encourage people to clip stuff up. When people upload podcasts, your fans are sent there to go and clip those podcasts up and to spread them out to the entire world. It's literally something that's encouraged.
I do not like false accusations of criminal activity. That's another thing that I really do not like. I am totally aware that not everybody is going to like me. I have no problems with that. I think anyone who decides to get big on the internet needs to be very, very prepared for a contingent of people to not be happy with what they say. I could make a YouTube channel dedicated to the fact that I believe the world is round, and there would be a large or semi-large proportion of people who would disagree with me. I don't think there's a single creator online that has a 100% approval rate. I have a lot of people who love what I say. I have a lot of fans. A lot of people are dedicated to my channel, and I have a lot of positivity online. And I have a small contingent of people who are very, very offended by what I say. We often talk about, in the modern world, the inclusivity of different cultures, different ways of life, different sexual orientations, and how we need to be tolerant and understanding of all these different people's life paths, and by extension, their different ways of viewing the world. I'm a unique individual, as is everybody else, and I have a unique life path that has led me to unique points of view.
It's not a unique life path to degrade women. It's not unique, is it? That's just stupid. You're just admitting that you lack critical thinking, really. That it's just easier to just do away with the entire house because there's rot in the garage. Like, that's mental. Surely you must know. You're a smart man. You must know. You must know that sounds wild. And of course, you're well within your right to offend people. Freedom of speech, it's, great. Following the law, it's pretty cool. Even though you self-admittedly moved to Romania so you could be governed by less of them. So I don't really understand what point you're making. And yes, people are upset. Well, I don't think it's the upset people having a problem. And you could say they're a small amount of people, but they're not. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been trending all the time. And there wouldn't be videos on you with 10 million views. Like, it's not small. It's a lot of people. I mean, everybody I know knows who you are. They all know who you are. There's not a single person I know who doesn't know who you are. And a lot of them don't really like you. And obviously that's in my circle of friends, and that's in the circle of people I keep, and I know that's unique. There are people I know who do like you. Trust me, that's really not doing much of a favour for you. But my overall point is, I think now a lot of the stuff you said has kind of taken the people who watch you, and it started bleeding into the way that they treat people in person, and I think that's why it's become a big thing, because I think you're making the world more miserable. As much as there's plenty of funny stuff and plenty of good stuff. And there is. I'm not going to sit and deny that. He's done a lot of good things, Andrew Tate. There's also an undeniable side that is not positive, that is not good at all, which is the thing that I think people are more kind of getting upset over. They're angry at you making their life harder. And I'm not even one of the people who can really even attest to that. Andrew Tate doesn't impact me in any way, shape, or form. People like to pretend that he's homophobic. I don't think he is homophobic. There are actually more people being homophobic to Andrew Tate, weirdly enough, than Andrew Tate has ever been homophobic to other people. For example, I keep on seeing people say that Andrew Tate, he loves men so much, he hates women, he must be gay. That's not great for gay people. That's not positive for them. I don't think they'd like that. I don't think they'd like that comparison. I don't think they'd want that on their plate. That Andrew Tate must be one of them, must be closeted, because only closeted people act that way. That's not a good stereotype, and you're not helping. You don't need to, fight fire with fire. You can just kind of go, I think we all agree he's a bit of a mug. His Facebook account's gone now, so we can just kind of do away with most of it without the homophobia. If you're fans of then taking what you say and then going to other people's pages and then, harassing them and sending them death threats and, horrible, horrible, vile abuse, then obviously you will face the consequence for that, just as the way that I would and anybody else would do. It's not just you, Andrew. There are plenty of people get banned on social media. I've lost Twitter accounts before, gained them back because, people falsely reported tweets. This isn't a false report. This isn't anything along those lines. This is just people going, here's that clip. Here's another 1,500 of them. Maybe this isn't really what we want on our website. But it's easy for you at the end of the day to sit in Romania and, make all the comments and maybe not take them too seriously yourself. And maybe you don't. And maybe you don't really care about all this. It wouldn't surprise me if you weren't really actually too invested. And this is more like a happy accident that you've managed to make a lot of money off of. And that's, that's his own thing. But maybe you should take a look into what people are doing and how they're portraying you if you're so upset about it. Because it's not people like me. It's your fans. They're the ones who make you look this way. Not Daz Black, not fucking some random teenager, and not some women on the internet. It's your fans. They're the ones who are taking you out of context and making you look so terrible. So maybe you should address them a little bit more directly and maybe be a bit more honest about the fact that you don't like the way that they make you seem. So we'll go back to the regular scheduled programming with jokes and stuff, and I hope they don't get me in trouble, but that's the risk I run, and I accept that. I like trying to be funny. and sometimes it will piss people off. It does come with a price, having an audience, and the price, unfortunately, is at certain points you have to be responsible. But we could all start learning that lesson sooner rather than later, I guess. Alright, that's it. I've got nothing else to say. Bye. Actually, I do have one thing. Why does he jump into the swimming pool like that? I want to know.